Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another card making video tutorial. Today we are celebrating the Concord 9th new color release. This is the April 2023 release, and I am going to celebrate with a color combo swatch. I'm calling this number 1 because you are going to see several from me throughout the month. Now off camera, I did do a lot of die cutting to save us a little bit of time today. You can see some swatches and hearts and things here on the top of the screen. The Swatchbook dies die cut the swatches, and then the hearts are from the Just Say More dies. Now, if you have been here for a while, you know that if given the choice, I am probably going to die cut things because I love all the fiddly little die cut pieces, and I absolutely love die cutting and color. So I have chosen a color combo today that is carnation, honeysuckle, poppy, spiced cider, and sunflower. And the beauty of this swatch set is that you can create your favorite swatches, whether it be cardstock or ink, and you can add these to your little swatches so that if you want to revisit a swatch color or a swatch color combination that you really like, you are going to be able to find it very easily, which I think is amazing. There is a stamp set where you can obviously customize your swatches with the color name. Concord 9th has made it very, very easy to completely customize everything about their cardstock and ink colors for ease of use. And I'm going to be showing several different projects all throughout April, and I will be referencing the swatches every time I share a video and card projects with this. So I definitely went for bright and colorful. I don't know about you guys, but everything I do lately is bright and colorful. I am really, really wanting some spring. Now, the Just Say More dies, probably my favorite from the April release, and you guys know why if you've been here a while. Hearts. There is a giant heart as well. I'm not using it on this card. I'm using 2 of what I'm going to call the medium-sized hearts, and then the tiny heart die, which die cuts the 2 small ones. And from each of the colors I've chosen, the carnation, honeysuckle, poppy, spice cider, and sunflower, I have die cut 2 medium hearts and 2 small hearts. I think I ended up only not using one of the sunflower hearts on this card, and I'm just going to save it for something else. I'm not going to be using all of these swatch colors, but I'm going to hold on to these because I might want to mix and match these colors with and create other swatch cards for other color combinations. Now I am adding my hearts to my background with foam adhesive squares, and this background, let's talk about this background. This is the triangle background die, also brand new, part of the April 2023 release, and I am not going to use the layering pieces for this in this card today. I will be sharing this in another card here soon, but I am a huge fan of not having a blank white background. And I love the little bit of stitching decorative touch to this. So I went ahead and used this. You could use any kind of background you want here. You like a little more distress and splatter. I kept my card pretty clean and simple today. Go ahead and add some distress oxide splatter or ink splatter or paint splatter to your background, or even put all of the hearts on your card and then splatter it up. You could also choose to do more of a rainbow color palette if you wanted to and do all of the hearts in a different color. There's just so many different things you can do here, you guys. Make it your own. Pick your very favorite color combinations. Maybe you love teals and blues. Do that. You could keep it all in one color family and just have an ombre effect as well. The Big Hugs is one of the sentiments included in the Just Say More die set. There is also Hi, Take Care, and Celebrate You. It's a very easy to use stamp set. And if you're like me, a small sentiment strip underneath a big greeting is what I generally do. I didn't add one here yet. I might still do that. I haven't really decided, but you could always add a little sentiment strip right underneath if you wanted to. Now, I did die cut my big hugs from some of the black cardstock first, and I decided I didn't really love that. So we're going to pick a gray cardstock here, and I am going to die cut my sentiment 3 times from that instead. This is a Concord 9th cardstock, and I'm so sorry. I will pop the name of this up on the screen. I can't think of it as I'm doing the voiceover. The color name. And then I am going to glue this down. Now, because I popped the hearts up, I don't want to put foam underneath my greeting. However, as I went to lay my greeting down, I noticed that the long part of the letter B in big doesn't really hang over any hearts, so it was going to be funny. So there are 2 tiny foam adhesive squares underneath the B, but everything else is just a little liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to finish adding my sentiment. Now, this is beautiful just like this, but I am going to embellish. I love all of the little fussy bits and pieces, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And so I have all the little hearts, and we're going to do lots of layering and tucking little bits and pieces around our card. There are no additional embellishments today other than a tiny little bit of twine to tie our little posies together. This is the Posy print dies I'm also using today, but everything is paper. I love paper. I always have loved pattern paper and cardstock. It was probably my first real love when I was a scrapbooker. I always loved fiddling with all the bits and pieces. I was huge into die cutting when I was scrapbooking, and it just kind of transitioned right into card making. As you can see, most of my cards, they do feature some sort of die cutting just because I love it so much. Another idea is you could always use the inks to color your white cardstock and then die cut them, or ink blend them after you have die cut them for even more customization. Now, I felt like even though I love the hearts, and the hearts are the focal point background of this design, I wanted a little unexpected fun. And that little triple step Posy print die is so teeny tiny and cute, and I thought, wouldn't a little bunch of them adhere to one of the hearts be just the perfect thing? So you saw me assembling them. There's 3 parts. There's the flower, the little part of the flower, and then the stems. And I am just going to glue a little of this yellow twine, and I don't have a source for it, so I'm going to tell you that right now. I've had it for many years, like 15 plus years, probably a very, very long time, you guys. But I thought it was perfect for this. That kind of mustardy color, it really matched with that, with the sunflower color of our cardstock. And I'm going to glue that to the heart first, and I just used my acrylic block to hold that down. I am going to go ahead while that glue is kind of setting. You can see I just laid out my twine there. I am still assembling my hearts. Some are going to have foam adhesive, some aren't. The little hearts are tiny enough that I am customizing my foam adhesive squares by cutting them. And I think I need to pick a different color. Tweezers are going to be very helpful. An embellishment wand or a picker of some sort, also going to be helpful when working with teeny tiny pieces. Those are my 2 go-tos for any type of die cut work. I love to have those both handy. And then once I'm happy with kind of how things are looking, and I think the glue has set my twine in place just there, I'm going to make a little bunch with my flowers. And they are delicate enough that I do highly recommend a little set of tweezers. And I'm going to put a foam square back behind this bloom, because it does hang over the edge. Anytime something is hanging over the edge of something else that has foam under it, definitely try to put a little foam so that it lays nicely. And then I'm going to assemble these or adhere these where they overlap, so that when I go to tie them together, it looks like this little bunch of posies. Isn't that fun? I really loved these. I thought it was super cute and a really great way to just, again, add, like I said, add something unexpected and something very, very fun. I love all the little fiddly bits. And then we're just going to snip the ends of that and go ahead and finish filling in with a few extra little hearts here and there. I think I ended up using all of my small hearts, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to kind of continue adding some of the smaller hearts in the center of the bigger ones. At this point, it's mostly layering and finding ways to add interest to the design, but it's pretty well done. Now, when I am finished with this card, this panel will be attached to a white top fold card base. You could also use a side fold if you prefer. I generally go with a top fold. And I am going to show you how to make your swatches. So I have made this card. I love how it looks. I want to remember this color combination. For all of my swatching friends, you guys know who you are from retreat. This is so amazing. I am guilty of not always taking the time to swatch things, but I always benefit from it. So because I already have all these little pieces out, I'm going to go ahead and build my swatch. I have my die cut here from some white cardstock, and then there's 2 spacers. One if you're going to do 6 swatches on here, and another, that's the small one, and then the bigger one if you're going to do 5. Well, I used 5 colors, so we're going to use the bigger spacer. Now you could probably die cut the spacer, but I was being lazy, so I actually just used the die as my spacer. I've got a little liquid glue here, and my glue is clogged, so let me take my pen and unclog it, and I am going to start gluing down my swatches. Something else to keep in mind about the swatches: yes, they're great for building swatches, but they could also be some really fun decorative elements if you want to attach them, these die cuts, to your cards as is. Now the spacer is going to make it so that you perfectly space. So you can see I move it up and put the next color down. And I definitely try to keep them in rainbow order. And then I slide the die out and move it up. I mean, how easy is this? Now, again, you could die cut your spacer. That's probably how it's meant to be used, but I was being lazy. Then we're going to take the coordinating stamp set and we are going to stamp the names of the colors we used in between. It does show you on the back of the packaging. You could stamp right on your swatch if you want, or in that white space underneath. My preference is that white space underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp all those names. But I also, because I am silly like this and I just love the attention to detail, Concord 9th has provided us with a couple of options for hole reinforcers. I love hole reinforcers for my tags. I won't really make a tag that doesn't have a hole reinforcer. I love them. So I've also die cut those from dark gray, and I'm going to adhere those to the front and the back. Now there is a new black ink from Concord 9th. We are going to stamp the names of our ink, the names of our cardstock colors right underneath with the black cardstock, and it just gives the most beautiful professional finish. I love it. I am a big fan of having everything be really uniform and beautiful like this. And I'm very, very excited to be able to easily reference color combinations that I like over and over again. So I would recommend lining everything up in your stamp positioner tool. I'm using the Misty here and a very dirty sticky mat that needs to probably be cleaned. And I am going to carefully pick these up. I wanted to stamp all of mine with one press. I'm going to ink up my words and then just kind of gently press those, because this is a very juicy ink pad. I kind of pressed it a little too hard. And then we are going to go ahead and stamp Color Swatchbook. Because of course we need a name for our little book. And then I'm going to put these all on a ring from Simon Says Stamp. Actually, I love their little ring with the paw on it. So this is going to be my color combo swatch book for Concord and 9th, and I customized it with the name here. Now there's lots of options and other words you can use in the stamp set. And here is my finished card and swatch. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel for more swatch color combinations coming this month. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There's exclusive content, you'll receive a handmade birthday card from me during your birthday month, monthly lives for my top tier patrons, and more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're always notified when I have a video or go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.